Welcome to episode 28 of the Savvy Shopkeeper Retail Podcast. I'm your host, Kathy Cruz. This episode addresses the question, should I post about social or political issues on my business social media accounts? Today's episode is free of anything in terms of ads or shopkeeper shoutouts, intro music, extra music. It's just me speaking. I think it's important to address this question and keep this episode as simple and clutter-free as possible. 2020 has not been easy for anyone. As difficult as it's been as a business owner, it's been equally challenging as a person, as a human being. But I know firsthand that from discomfort comes growth, and I'll have more on this in future episodes. I want you to know that this episode won't be filled with motivational or inspirational quotes either. Both the political climate and social issues are front and center more than I've ever seen before, and I understand why. The one question I've been hearing from shopkeepers is, should I post about social political issues on my business social media accounts? As a business consultant and retail educator, I can't tell any business owner how to feel. I can give you some guidance, and that's why I'm here today. It's just to give you some things to keep in mind as you move forward with social media during these times. First, no matter what you say, there's a high likelihood that someone will not be happy with what you say and or how you say it. Emotions are running so high right now, and even when you think you've covered all of the bases or you feel like you're being compassionate enough, there's a chance your words can be misconstrued. And I just want to make sure I mention that so you're not caught off guard when you think you have the perfect post and then you post it and maybe get some negative feedback or people who are upset with what you said. It's our reality right now. The next point I want to make is if there's messaging on current issues that align with your brand and your business, then it's important to speak about it on social media. There are many shopkeepers who have brands that are strongly aligned with things going on in the world right now. These brands and businesses have a voice and they're using it, and I've seen some that are doing it very, very effectively and really well, particularly around the issue of racism. If you don't normally talk about social issues, but now you choose to take a stance as a business and as a brand, be prepared with how you and your team will respond. You'll want to meet with your team to map this out and have a plan. If you feel strongly about something and post about it, you have to be prepared to remain strong and firm in your beliefs, but you must also be prepared to lose some followers and or customers or get some backlash. It can happen. I've seen many posts suggesting that business owners need to comment and post right now about specific issues. And I struggle with this one because I don't think there's a blanket social media strategy for all business owners during these times. And, what you feel or what you believe, I guess, isn't a strategy. I know many shopkeepers, as a rule, do not incorporate political or social issues into their businesses or brands. It's their choice. It's what they've done since they started their business. They prefer to just leave that out and run their business and take care of their customers and do the right thing. I completely get it. I don't agree with how some businesses are being pressured to post immediately. And my next 2 points will address why. So the first thing that I want to say is you're a leader. If you're listening to this, most likely you're a shopkeeper. Most likely you own a brick and mortar business or an e-commerce business. And whether you chose it intentionally or not, business owners are leaders. You most likely lead a team. And if you don't, you probably lead in your community, whether you realize it or not. And you might lead in other places, like if you have a Facebook group. You're definitely a leader there. And as a leader, you have a voice. If your brand is using that voice, like I mentioned a couple minutes ago, then you have this covered. You're using your voice. You know what you're communicating with your customers. You feel strongly about it. You're firm about it. But if you're in this weird space where things feel really uncomfortable right now and you're confused, if you're afraid to share anything because you'll lose customers, it's most likely because you haven't found your voice. It's extremely important that you find this as a business owner and leader. And I feel it's important not because I want to force you into that position, but because I don't want anyone else to fill that void for you. It could be an employee, it could be someone else, it could be a customer. And this is why I think it's important for you to find your voice as a business, as a brand. With that, I recently heard someone say that some people process things externally. And I feel like these are the people that are posting actively on social media right now. Sharing their opinions, sharing their beliefs, just being really, really vocal. And again, a ton of credit to them. But some other business owners need time to process things internally first before they can even post or comment or engage in conversations on social media. If this is you, I encourage you to take the time to process what is happening. Take the time to learn and digest. Find your voice. Again, I don't want to push anyone to act or post impulsively. I just said a minute ago, I don't agree with people being forced into that position. Give yourself some grace and give yourself the time to find your voice. Personally, this is what I've done for myself. And one of the reasons I wanted to record this episode is to share my personal experience. And so that you know that when I'm ready to share, I will. One helpful tip that I have for you, if you don't know where to begin with finding your voice, is to start working on your top 5 business values and establishing things like your core focus or your mission as a business. And the book Traction, and I wish I had the author's name right now, but I don't, but it's Traction. I'll be sure to link it in the show notes. I found that this book has been helpful to me starting the process as a business owner to identify what those values are and what my mission is and what my voice is. I wish there was a solution or simple way for all of us to handle social media for our businesses right now, but there just isn't. I worked and reworked this episode many, many times. I think many of us are learning as we go along in both life and in business. And you have to take so many things into consideration. But in the end, no one but you can make these types of decisions for your business. So until the next episode and you hear me sighing, this episode felt very heavy to me. The past week has felt very heavy to me. But until the next episode, I'm not going to close like I normally do. I'm going to say to be kind. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others, and be kind on social media. I'll catch you in the next episode.